when a woman has scholarly inclinations, there is usually something wrong with their sexual organs.
Friedrich Nietzsche, German philosopher, 1880s to 90s.
Reasons to vote no include, because in some states, more voting women than voting men will place the government under petticoat rule, because it is unwise to risk the good we already have for the evil which may occur.
Taken from the pamphlet of the National Association opposed to women's suffrage in the 1910s.
By keeping woman in her exalted position, man can be induced to do more for her than he could by having her mix up in affairs that will cause him to lose respect and regard for her.
Compared by J.B. Sanford, Democratic Senator in California in 1911.
We are controlled and worried enough by women at the present time, and I, for one, have heard no reason why we should alter the present state of affairs.
Sir James Grant, Member of Parliament for Whitehaven in 1917.
And I quote, "She's especially telling and projecting sluttish eroticism. She is Miss Helen Mirren."
Sir Michael Parkinson, TV broadcaster in 1975.
I mean, anyone who chooses to remain deliberately burned, they've got no idea what life's about.
Bill Heffernan, Australian Senator in 2007.
When a lady says no, she means maybe. If she says maybe, she means yes. And if she says yes, she's not a lady.
Chilean President Sebastian Pinera in 2011.
Good wife doesn't disagree with her master in public.
Sir Austin Mitchell, Member of Parliament for Great Grimsby in 2012.
I don't even wait, and when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab by the pussy, you can do anything.
Donald Trump speaking to Billy Bush in 2005, released before becoming President of the United States.
For the better term, I would say that the feminine values are now the values of America. Sensitivity is more important than truth. Feelings are more important than facts. Commitment is more important than individuality. Children are more important than people. Safety is more important than fun.
You and I know that in our culture today, girls are taught from grade school that we tell them that what is most honorable in life is a career, so as to be able to do anything they want, anytime they want. Is that a healthy pursuit for society?
Maybe we should have sex, you know, to prove our love for each other.
No.
Does that mean no or yes?
No means yes. Yes means yes. No means yes. Yes means yes. Well, there is a point in a monopoly in itself for 40 years.
Let me tell you. The law of sexual harassment is so broad that a person can accuse another at any time and ruin their reputation just by an unfounded allegation.
How could you allow this kind of reprehensible conduct to go on right in the headquarters without doing something about it?
I really am getting stuff over the transom about Professor Hill. I've got letters hanging out of my pocket. I've got faxes, statements from Tulsa, Oklahoma saying, watch out for this woman. But nobody's got the guts to say that because it gets all tangled up in this sexual harassment crap.
And of course women must earn less than men because they are weaker, they are smaller, they are less intelligent, they must earn less, that's all.
Order back ni Mayor. Bilang daw mong patsyon. Kung sila mas bisong, wala na yung bisong, wala na may silbit.
I would never rape you, because you're not worth it.
I hope not, because I'd slap you in the face.
Do it, I'll slap you back. Do it, I'll slap you back. Do it, I'll slap you back.
There is no due process right now. Right now, accusation, allegation, goodbye. Everybody gets fired. I wonder if you destroy men, or complete the destruction of men, they're pretty close to being destroyed, I would say. How does that help women exactly?
Will the United States elect a female president?
24 years, 2050.
Exactly.
Let's hope so.
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke, who goes before a congressional committee and essentially says that she must be paid to have sex? What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right? It makes her a prostitute.
You want me to give you my hard-earned money so you can have sex?
You know, back in my days, they'd use bare aspirin for contraceptives. The gals put it between their knees, and it wasn't that costly.
So you have this whole bureaucracy upon bureaucracy being built up to support women in the military who are now being raped too much. What do they expect?
Women are victims of violence all the time.
Should have guns.
Well, maybe that or make better decisions.
You're just getting to stay on. Prohibits the party from having a younger leadership that hurts the party in the long term. What's your response?
This woolly windbag is doing more for the right than free enterprise. Every time she opens her mouth, more Americans think, I'm voting for Romney just so I don't ever have to see this woman again. Great hair.
But yeah, if you're into that Priscilla kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, I gave up perms a long time ago.
So I have to ask you this very personal question. Your hair.
Hillary Clinton now, the Secretary of State has been sporting the look these days. No makeup, no contacts, no blowouts.
She's not looking good these days. She's looking overweight and she's looking very tired.
She's not trying to be.
Yes, it does look that way.
Like this right-wing slut, what's her name, Laura Ingraham? Yeah, she's a talk slut.
I don't know. I think when her numbers went down, she should have brought down her neckline.
And I love how passionate you are. I wish you were as right and about what you're saying as you are passionate about it. I really do.
That's for example.
Emily trying.
Women are everywhere. We're letting them play golf and tennis now. It's out of control.
You know what?
Yeah.
You read the headlines.
Is there any other word that you can use to describe me?
Oh, I got a few words. Starts with a B, and it's not beautiful.
Yes, why can't a woman be more like a man? Men are so honest, so thoroughly square, eternally noble, historically fair. But when you win, we'll always give your back a pat. But why can't a woman be like that? One man in a million may shout a bit. Now and then there's one with slight defense. One perhaps whose truthfulness you doubt a bit, but by and large, we are a marvelous sex.
I can't do it anymore, Joe. I can't do it. I can't take it. I can't take the humiliation.
Throughout the years, Wells College has become synonymous with a statue of Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom who resides in the entrance to Main Building. I represent the students, past, current, and future, and am, in a way, dwells every woman. I have been watching over the students since the start of Wells College. There have been many strong opinions regarding women throughout time, but many say things have changed. I prefer to say they have evolved. These statements have not decreased in foulness or unpleasantness, but rather shifted into another time period of prejudice against women. Let's take it back to 1882 and see what it was like for Frances Folsom Cleveland Preston, or as she preferred to be called, Frank.
Hello, how are you this morning? I'm wonderful, thank you for asking. It's such a beautiful day. I was told I could come here to finish filling out some registration forms. Oh good, I came to the right place then. Last name Folsom, first name Frank. Yes, Frank is correct. No, I don't like Francis. Yes, please. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Cooper decided one winter to ice skate across it, and boy did that astounding act draw her some attention.
Sissy, I've been back by now?
No one has ever skated across the entire lake before, Mr. Baker, so who knows how long it will take.
She'll be back any minute. I can feel it in my bones.
What if something happened to her? Oh, I do hope nothing's happened. It is an awful long way to skate.
Now, both of you stop your worrying. Emma can skate this lake in her sleep.
I mean, what would even possess a young woman to skate that far? She's an artist, not an athlete.
I beg to differ, Mr. Baker. I believe she's an artist and an athlete.
Well, Emma certainly has an eye for art and for the ice. They both take an incredible amount of dedication and precision.
Very true. Emma is a gifted skater. We used to race all the time, and no matter how fast I went, I could never catch her.
Well, I'm sure you put up a good fight.
I certainly had to try, but one can only do so much compared to Emma. I think I see her. She's coming back. Oh, this is it. Everyone get ready. Hold us aside.
It was exhilarating. I've never felt so alive. We're so cold. I can barely feel my face. Where are my feet?
Emma, that was fantastic. Oh, you were incredible. I never doubted you for a second. Oh, you must be freezing. Here, take my shawl.
Thank you.
I never thought I'd see anyone skate across the entire lake, especially a girl.
You are an incredible woman, Emma. May I? 3 cheers for Emma Lambert for skating across the entire lake and then back again. Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip!
Hooray! Hip! Hooray! Thank you all for coming. I wasn't expecting an entourage when I returned. And a sign? You all are incredible.
It's not every day we get to see such an incredible woman skate across the entire lake.
Mr. Reed, please, you were much too kind. I believe they are serving refreshments back in McMillan.
Oh, yes, of course. Emma, would you care to accompany me?
I'm sure we know our way well enough. Don't we, Emma?
Yes, I think we do, Jessie. Thank you so much for your offer. Maybe I'll meet you all up there.
Oh, well, as long as you're sure.
Goodbye, Mr. Reed. Until next time.
Who's ladies care to join me?
Of course.
I'd love to.
Mr. Reed, you are too kind.
Well, what was I supposed to say to a comment like that? We're supposed to be modest and demure. We are the fair sex.
Oh, yes. How can I forget how dainty we are?
Come on, would you? It really is freezing outside.
Milady, would you care to accompany me to tea?
Certainly, good sir. Shall we?
We shall.
Emma, our intrepid skater, delivered the commencement address at her graduation in 1875. In it, she discussed Mrs. Grundy, a fictional character from Thomas Morton's play Speed the Plow, who characterized the prude woman. She was the ideal image of propriety in the current society.
Mrs. Grundy is a figurative name for an extremely priggish or conventional person, a personification of the tyranny of conventional propriety. The tendency to be overly fearful of what others might think is sometimes referred to as Grundyism. There are plenty of things that may cause people to worry about what others might think. For many women, their Grundyism is the fear of what the men in their lives may think about what they look like or whatever they're doing at any moment in time. I'm here to tell you that Grundyism is absolutely unnecessary. We are only given so much time to live our lives, and what a waste it is to spend it in a constant state of worry about the opinions of others. So as I stand in front of you today, as official graduates of Wells College, a school full of the strongest women I've ever been given the pleasure of knowing, I encourage you to throw your Grundyisms to the wind.
to use the knowledge bestowed upon us by our time here to show the men in our lives that we are capable of much more than they would ever give us credit for. So follow your dreams, forge your own paths, and be sure to support one another so that we all may achieve the spectacular things I'm positive each and every one of you are capable of. For we are women, strong, brilliant, and resilient. Thank you.
Now we head back to Frank. Governor Grover Cleveland used to send Frank roses while she was at college. All the girls would gather around to see the long-stemmed roses given by the governor, soon to be the president. Grover was unable to attend Frank's graduation as he was already president at that time. Instead, he sent her more roses and several ivy plants to congratulate her. It's believed that the two were secretly engaged at the time, as they married so soon after her graduation. Frank and the 5 others in her class planted the ivy by Morgan Hall. That ivy still grows there to this day. Graduating Wells. The year is 1912, and Emma and her husband Colin Cooper, also a painter, are on board the ship the RMS Carpathia on the way to India.
Looks like you beat me to it. I've been aching to get a look at this view. This might be my favorite one yet. The stars are just perfect tonight. And the mist is creating an interesting color on the water. I know I said I wouldn't start painting until we got to India, but I'm not sure I can wait that long. I give it about 2 hours until you start painting. 2 hours? That's all? Well, originally you weren't going to paint at all, so I'd say 2 hours is a pretty decent bet. What do you got there? You look a bit cold. Care for my jacket? I'm perfectly fine. Well, for sure. It certainly wouldn't hurt. Come on inside. Looking at this light's inspiring me. I want to sketch this image. Well, it's so my mind vibrant. Oh, is that so? Cityscapes have always been your forte, my dear. How long has it been since you painted a woman? Are you mocking me? Maybe a little bit. Stop, you're going to make me seasick. Shall we retire to the cabin, my lady? Actually, I think I'd like to look at the water just a bit longer. Well, if you're sure. Oh, wait. Is that? Colin. Colin, look, there's something there.
What? Where? Oh, that's nothing more than a fish.
No, Colin. I think that's a person.
Two present-day Wellsians are searching for information on their Wells sisters from long ago.
We've got a lot of work to do. Wow.
Yo, check this out. This magazine is from 1895. Looks like an original copy, too. Oh, these pictures are so old. There should be an article on Frances in here. Look, here's a picture of her wedding dress. Isn't it gorgeous? And here's the mock-up for her portrait in Cleveland Hall. Oh, that explains why it looks so familiar. I used to have class in there, walk by that painting all the time. You've got to be kidding me. There isn't anything of value in this article. Honestly, I'm not that surprised. All they do is talk about how great it is. They have a color portrait of Frances and go on to describe her appearance for the rest of the article. Keep looking. There's got to be something of substance in this box. Let's hope so for history's sake. Oh, look, here's something. What is it? Oh, so get this. Grover Cleveland married Frances when she was 21 and he was 49. It's kind of weird, right? That kind of thing happened all the time back then. There were huge age gaps between couples. Yeah, that's true, but it doesn't make it right. There's also a catch. Apparently, she had been his ward since she was 11 years old. Well, he was best friends with her father, Oscar Folsom, and had known her since she was a baby, and she was already 30 or so years old. Oh, he even bought her a baby carriage. Ew, it's kind of creepy. But again, that happened all the time. You know, oftentimes a young girl would be taken in as a ward, and the men charged with taking care of her ended up marrying the girls when they came of age. Kind of gross. Yeah, it's gross. Oh, it gets worse. Apparently there was a scandal involving a mystery baby. Some women claim that the child was Grover Cleveland's, but skeptics say that the child may have been Frances' father, Oscar. They think Grover was trying to cover up for him because Grover was an unmarried man at the time. That's crazy. Well, what do you think Frances thought about all of this? Did she know about the child before she married Grover? No clue, dude. I would not be very happy about it if that were the case.
What did Frances think indeed? Let's take a quick look.
Thank you. That will be all. Remain calm, Frank. Those rumors have no truth, and even if they did, nonsense. My Grover's a good man.
It's entirely possible that the child could be mine. However, this is not a particularly serious matter, and there's no reason to believe it could not also be someone else's.
have a conversation with my dear Mr. Cleveland.
We return to those two Wellesians still searching deep in the archives.
Poor Frances. She had no idea what was really going on with Grover. Seems like she was pretty out of the loop about a lot of things in her life. Seems like she didn't really know what we're saying about her or using her image or until it was too late. Take a look at this paragraph here. On July 5th, First Lady Frances Folsom Cleveland was spotted driving her buggy to the farmhouse to visit her close friends. Passers-by were taken aback to notice she was not wearing a bustle. Shocked at the change in fashion, onlookers rushed home to adjust their dresses to fit the new fashion trends. Some say that when some saw she wasn't wearing one, they ripped their bustles off right on the spot. Yeah, that's a story by some journalist that they made up. When Frances saw it, she said, well, if the press says so, I have to appease them. Renounce the bustle right then and there. It's so crazy they could use her image and endorsement like that without even asking her. I wonder if they asked Grover and he left them without ever even telling her about it. Oh, look at this. Look at this picture here. They put her picture right on the bottle. Sulfur bitters. I don't even know what a sulfur bitter is. Me either. But look, here's another one for cigarettes. And this one here's for corsets. And that one's for coffee. Imagine going to a store and finding a bunch of random products with your face. That sounds like a living nightmare.
Frank, have you seen these before? Sulfur bitters to relieve sickness and improve your health. Endorsed by First Lady Frances F. Cleveland.
My health is certainly just fine. I've never used this product or a product like it.
Look, there's another. Yantese corsets, providing the comfort and support you need. Style approved by Frances Cleveland.
I've never even heard of this company, let alone tried on their corsets.
Frank, you're never going to believe this. Seal of North Carolina Plug Cut Tobacco, manufactured of old North Carolina leaf, thoroughly cured, smokes cool, lasts long. It is the undisputed leader of manufactured plug cut tobaccos throughout the world.
It has your face on it. This is absurd. I've never smoked a day in my life. This is ridiculous.
Last week I saw a tobacco pipe with your face carved on it.
There's so many.
Dr. A.C. Hawks' certain proof cure. Always keep it in the house, 25 cents.
Look, this has your face too.
Wilson Spice Company Lion Coffee.
You're on fine china and dishware as well.
It seems a little bit ridiculous that people would buy all of these things just because my portrait is on them. All of them are falsely endorsed. Ugh. But what if... Ladies, I think we have some work to do. If people care so much about my opinion, I may as well use it to my advantage.
What can we do to help?
Frank, where are you going with this? We are going to need a lot of tea. Come along.
In the modern world, women still fight for equality. But why is it when women say this?
Human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights once and for all. Let us not forget that among those rights are the right to speak freely and the right to be heard. As long as discrimination and inequities remain so commonplace everywhere in the world, as long as girls and women are valued less, fed last, overworked, underpaid, not valued, subjected to violence in and outside of their homes, the potential of the human family to create a peaceful, prosperous world will not be realized.
But men seem to hear this.
We women are finally overcoming our equal males to take our places ahead of the world. We will keep males as our slaves and they will have no say in anything. All media will be about our glorious gender and no man will ever be
portrayed as a hero. We will cut off every man's genitals. Men are no longer necessary for the survival of the species. Using the latest science and technology, all women will embrace their lesbian side and create babies with two women's DNA. We will alter genetically babies all to be female. Abortions will flourish. Any woman that is pregnant by a man will have it aborted so that all male DNA will vanish from the earth. Within decades, men will vanish entirely and women will control the world. And all because they were foolish enough to let us have a bit more power in government. Why is every step forward for women considered a step back for men? As we contemplate this question, please join us in the ADR for tea time.
This is a traveler show. I'm a traveler show. It's lovely to have everyone here this afternoon. You know, this reminds me of afternoon tea in my college days. Many of you have expressed curiosity regarding my stance on women's suffrage. As you may already know, my husband...
We want your opinion, not his.
I beg your pardon. May I finish? As I was saying, my husband is not a proponent of votes for women, nor at the time am I.
But you're a woman.
My dear, I'm quite aware of this. In the shared opinion of my husband and myself, no one, be they a woman or be they a man, should be weighing in on matters of which they have inadequate knowledge and understanding. For this reason, I do not believe that women are yet ready to vote. My advice...
What is your advice, Miss Cleveland? To not even try? To birth children and practice needlepoint and be vanity accessories for men till kingdom come?
Are you quite through with the interruptions? My dear, you seem to forget. You are a visitor at my home. My advice, as an educated woman, is to educate yourselves and seek to broaden academic opportunities for other women as well. One must seek to educate themselves on anything they find of value if they're to adequately speak on it.
You and your husband have quite done.
And personally, I think there's quite a bit to be said for domestic life as well. But that's my own opinion. Each of you must fight for yourselves and form opinions of your own. Now then, you've heard what I think. Would you like to have a seat and enjoy some tea?
Yes, I think I would.
Lovely.
Mrs. Cleveland?
Yes, dear?
Is it so terrible to support women's suffrage?
I would say that probably. Oh, no, I wouldn't say that at all. I simply believe that women aren't properly educated yet at this time. The suffragist is no more a bad person for their opinions than I am for mine. A time will come when women are properly educated in these matters. And in the meantime, don't lose that fighting spirit. I firmly believe, for one, that women can and will change the world.
I don't know what you guys are doing for the rest of the evening, but I have a gala to attend if you want to come with me.
Yes, oh yeah.
It's right next door.
Sorry, I put the whole mini sandwich. And I was like,
And the sky was clear, save for dark smoke. It looked as if you could see forever. We were watching the water and we saw a ripple, like a fish or something. But we realized right away that it was not a fish, but a person. And another, and another. Before we knew it, we were sailing through a graveyard. It was so dark and still. I was in shock and could barely hear the crew shouting across the ship. Before we knew it, we saw lifeboats a little ways away. Through the wreckage, we saw lifeboats, half full. Some of them were holding onto ship parts, whatever they could to stay afloat. The lifeboats were half full, filled with women and children mostly. All of them shivering in the cold, holding to dear life to whatever they could to stay afloat.
that's awful.
How dreadful.
What did you do? Surely you must have been frightened.
I'm sure Emma was at her wit's end. You know, those poor women and children.
Well, we were both quite startled. Neither of us had been prepared to see a raft of people in the water. I was stunned in my tracks. I couldn't move. It was Emma who sprung into action.
Emma?
Of course. She's always been the sensible one. I jump when I hear a floorboard creak. She has always been to action.
Oh, never guessed.
Surely your husband went right down to help. Colin? Heavens no, he was white as a sheet. I had to drag him down by the wrist to go and help.
I might have guessed from our school days. You always were the resilient one.
But there she was, giving out blankets, holding on to small children. Just stood by and watched, in awe of her brilliance. That is, until she gave me a child to hold. There were so many of them. They were so frightened. I may not have children of my own, but I know a frightened child when I see one.
I'm sure you were brilliant.
I have to say, Colin, I'm a bit disappointed in you. Let Emma take all the credit like that.
Well, she deserves it. I was just an idiot standing by.
If I was there, I would have jumped in the water and over most of the ship.
And freezing to death in the process. What a hero you would be.
At least I would have done something.
Well, it certainly was a pleasure catching up with you, Emma. I always love hearing about your adventures. We must do it again sometime.
We should indeed.
All the same, it was good to see you, dear friend.
Same to you. It's good to see you, Jessica. How have you been? Hi, how are you enjoying the gala? It's fantastic. Just so I see this side part over here as pictures. No, I haven't.
Oh, please have a seat.
We're just getting ready for tea. This looks great.
It's lovely to have so many. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we would sit outside under the trees and have our tea.
I know many of you have expressed curiosity regarding my stance on this. As you may already be aware, we want your opinion, not his.
I beg your pardon.
May I finish? As I was saying, my husband is not a proponent of votes for women, nor at the time am I. But you're a woman! My dear, I was well aware of this. In the shared opinion of my husband and myself, no one, be they a man or a woman, should be weighing in on matters of which they have inadequate knowledge and understanding. For this reason, I do not believe women are yet ready to vote. But my advice...
What is your advice, Miss Cleveland? To not even try? To birth children and practice needlepoint and be vanity accessories for men till kingdom come?
My dear, you seem to forget your manners. We're a visitor at my home, are you not? My advice, if you'd like to hear it, as an educated woman, is to educate yourselves and seek to broaden academic opportunities for other women as well. One must seek to educate themselves on matters they find important. Only from there can they adequately speak on them. And personally, I think there's a lot to be said for domestic life as well. I love my family and my children, but that's just my own opinion and my own priorities. Each of you must think for yourselves and form opinions of your own. Now then, you've heard what I think. Would you like to have a seat and enjoy some tea?
Yes, I think I would.
Lovely.
Mrs. Cleveland? Yes, dear? Is it so terrible to support women's suffrage?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. Please, come sit down. I certainly don't believe that women are properly educated at this time to make an informed decision on it. I know full well that there will be a time when women are properly educated in these matters, and in the meantime, don't lose your fighting spirits. I firmly believe that women can and will change the world. Would anyone like more tea?
Yes, thank you. I'll come with you.
Thank you, dear.
Have everyone's attention up front, please.
Since history has been recorded, women have been used as icons of pleasure and desire for men. Women have been viewed as fragile or weak. They're seen as incapable of intelligent thought by men and other women alike. The lives of Emma Lampert Cooper and Frances Folsom Cleveland Preston serve as a reminder that women are not inferior and we never have been. Women, especially Wells women, are strong, unique, driven, and leave Wells to make the world a better and brighter place. How can you help to end sexism in America? The first step is getting the conversation started.
Thank you all for coming. We encourage you to stay, enjoy the rest of the treats that are over here, talk to the cast members. All of the people involved in writing the show are present, so feel free to ask questions. Thank you for coming.